there, it's Brooke Taylor and Len Hauser, our cameraman today at the Great Lakes Science Center. It's our half-price deal this week, and it is such a fun place. It's 3 stories of hands-on learning and discovering the love of science, and we had the pleasure to come and explore this new exhibit they have. It's called Water, H20 Life. And it teaches kids and adults all the great things that water has to offer. So we're going to kind of walk you through it and show you the highlights. Come through here. Is that a crafty illusion? My son would like that for his doorway. So that's what I'm telling them. We have to come and learn how to do this and discover science. It starts here with the beginning of water and gathering water and how life is sustained through water and by water. And all the visual imagery just stimulates your senses. Like right here, it shows the liquid asset in water in 3 different forms. You've got the ice block, you've got, of course, the liquid, and then you've got the steam. And explains how that all works. And I think it's exciting for all different ages. For those just learning about it, it's fun. For us to see it, it's neat, and to see the kids discover. This, I would say, is the star of the show. It's one of the coolest eye-catching features. You can see that there are stats, there are different topographical images that are projected onto the globe, and in fact, the globe is a projection. You want to try to put your hand through there, Len? See if it works?
This is really cool, though. I mean, I love this part of the display. Everything is so high-tech, but it gets the message across about the value of water, and it really focuses on the value of the great natural resource we have right here, Lake Erie, which is one of the largest sources of fresh water in the world.
Yeah, and you kind of take it for granted. You can. And all that it has to offer. You can see here it talks about nature's architect and the effect that water has on canyons and on different surfaces. It talks about agriculture. It brings you through how we use fresh water in the dams. And Jeff gave us a tour yesterday. Jeff was our trusty tour guide, and he walked us through how it works to remove a dam and why they're removing some dams. They're finding out that all the sediment that gathers isn't necessarily good, and how releasing a little bit can be beneficial to farmers and to irrigation. And I know my kids would like pressing the lever because they get to release things and let water go and it doesn't make a mess.
Hey, you know, that's the cool thing about all of the things going on here at the Science Center is so much of it is interactive. It's high-tech,
Yes.
There's buttons to push, and they're all great visual displays.
And no one gets in trouble, like at home. This is harnessing waves and tides, a new technology. I've never heard about it. But it's the same way that you would get energy from wind and turbines they have underwater, and they're implementing this in New York. But what a cool idea that is, and it's more reliable, I guess, than the wind. Over here, you've got the visual display of farm and the effect that water has on crops. That's cool. This.
Oh!
Careful there, you almost hit that pole. The kids are going to love. I mean, come on, it's a giant pole.
Look how big that guy is, though. If you confronted him in real life, it would not be good. Now, here's a giant water pot.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a spigot here. Obviously, it's not working, but wonder how much that would hold. And all the exhibit, we're just kind of going through and highlighting some of the neat points, but each area you can learn so much from. You can do the hands-on experiments and activities. This, I think, is important for you to share, Len. It's different ways that you can carry and transport water and how they've used it over time.
Yeah, you know, it's true. I mean, there's nothing more valuable than water. You can live, I don't know how long, but not very long without water. And I always tell my kids when they complain about doing a task or chore, I say, you know what, you guys, while you're complaining about this, somewhere there's actually a child in this world carrying water on a pot on their head 3 miles just so their village can have a little water. And here's a good exhibit talking about how water is transported and used long distances throughout the world.
Yeah, here it says that women in Africa spend between 15 and 17 hours each week collecting water.
I want my kids to see this display.
Exactly your illustration.
Clean your rooms, kids. I mean, look at these guys in these pictures.
He's got to do this, and the system they've developed is obviously good. They've got a rolling water system here, but it's hard work, and it's a lot of time, and we do, I think, take it for granted. This is really neat, one of my favorite parts here. It shows how we waste water and how we go through so much bottled water we don't even think about it, but the cost is a little depressing. It's mind-boggling. The average price of a bottled water in the US, $10 a gallon versus tap water at 1 cent a gallon. And how really bottled water is just tap water filtered, so you know can what? Do it at home.
When I see this display, we use a lot of bottled water in the summertime when we go to softball tournaments, and I'm thinking, why? The cost, the waste, why not fill up a couple of containers with water and that's good enough? So we're creatures of habit. This is a great display right here. It really makes it graphic.
And that's what my mom says. That's what you say, and clearly it's true.
I'm changing this summer, I'm serious.
Yeah, it makes sense. You have it. This is another neat visual of Mount Rainier. It's in Washington, and these are rain clouds. I know my 3-year-old would love this, Garrett. You put the rain cloud over the area, and it shows how the water would gather on the region, the geographical area. And you've got this that close-ups. It zooms in on the mountain, and so you see the way that water moves and fills different terrain. And this over here, I'm not sure what it is. It looks like a giant drain or something that out of Willy Wonka the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, it does. Or out of Avatar. This is where people were birthed. I don't know.
But you sit here and it's interactive. You do a little quiz and it asks you about water in your house. Do you conserve? Do you think about the water you use? Do you live in an apartment or a house? How old are you? Do you have a car? And it just asks things like, do you rinse your dishes before you put them in the dishwasher?
I like this giant funnel because if you bring a field trip here and the kids misbehave, you tell them that they feed them into the top of this funnel. They go down the funnel and nobody knows where they go.
And the birds are watching.
That's right.
So, you want to mess around, there's eyes all over. That's basically, in a nutshell, this exhibit. There's so much more. It's so rich with great hands-on activities, but those are some of the highlights.
This exhibit's only here through April. We wish we could take you through the entire Science Center, including the Omnimax Theater, but because this is here for a limited engagement, we wanted you to see water, H20 Life, and that's part of what's going on at the Science Center. It's our half-price deal.